Stream here on lichess and Twitch. International Master William Paschall. We are Slaggy on Twitch and Sparklehorse on lichess, the man of many names. What's up, guys? We're going to be playing some blitz and rapid chess. Some slow blitz, fast, rapid. 5+3 through 7+3. I accept challenges. Casual. 5+3, 5+5, 6+3, 6+5, or 7+3. Any of those time controls, casual, are cool. You can get weird and make it like 5+4 if you want to. Anything between 5+3 and 5+5, or 6+3 and 6+5, and then 7+3 will be the longest. All right, we've got lots of challenges from the regulars here. Lots of subscribers. Morales, Nefidov, Morwa, Acerbate, feel free to join in and challenge if you want to. Soltigo, I wasn't sure if you're going to make it, but maybe you can stay for just a little. So let's get started with the challenge here against Morales. We had a good simul yesterday, even though it was fairly fast. It was successful. Nathan F314. What's up? All right, guys. We're going to get started here. It's me against Morales. D4. Decide to open with D4. D4, Knight F6. And Morales likes to play the Budapest Gambit. Let's deny him that. Deny him the Budapest Gambit. Alright, he played D6. Now we'll play, well, let's just play G3 and see where we're at here. I've been playing a lot of this stuff against the King's Indian. Just doing G3 and non-committal type of stuff. Bishop G4 is a weird move. Octavian Afrome. You're glad I'm growing my beard out. Well, don't be too glad, because I don't know how long it's going to be with us. Alright, I've got really bad allergies. My eyes are like watering. I think it's like hay fever. So if I start crying, it's not out of sadness. The beard looks good for a while, but then it gets really irritating. I get bored of it very quickly. Alright, Bishop G2. This is a strange move, Bishop G4. In this particular position, I mean, if you think about it, he's got his pawns on dark squares for the most part. The idea of playing Bishop H3 here, that's pretty direct. We can play H3 or we can wait. It's kind of a tough call. I'd like to get the bishop pair if I could. Alright, he just gives it up. Wow, that's not what I expected at all. I mean, I totally thought black's going to go bishop H5 there, maybe bishop F5. You know, in some such positions you can consider taking with the pawn, because white has play along the half-open file. But anyway, I like the more fluid structure here. GG Helis. Alright, Knight C6. He's just playing fast. Just going to put my bishop back on G2 where it's safe from being hit. It's almost always a useful thing to do. Now I expect him to go with E5 at some point. I was thinking maybe how to deal with E5 when it comes down. I wanted to play like C3 and enhance my control of the white squares. Since he has a weakness on the white squares, you know, it's to my benefit to increase my control of the white squares. He's starting to blot me out with E4 now. So I think we'll take. If I were black, I would seriously consider taking with the knight, although it extends the diagonal of my bishop, because trading queens leaves me in an ending where I'm just slightly better. Is he considering taking with the king here? I guess he should. Almost has to. I mean, you really want to allow like bishop takes c6. I guess he could allow that actually. considering my development is kind of lame, it's tempting to take on c6 here, admittedly. If I take on c6, his structure is pretty destroyed. I mean, on the other hand, and this reminds me of a tournament game I just had where I had the option to take on c6 and I didn't do it. You know, and it probably is really a matter of style. I'm actually considering playing e4, believe it or not, here. Just to lock down the e4 square, knowing that my bishop can get back in the game later on from a new position. But it seems strange to do that. We could play something flexible, maybe knight d2. This is a little slow, though. What's up, everyone? Good morning, good week, and good simul yesterday. Maybe just like e3. E3, the problem is we got ambulances, everything you could possibly want here. Alright, e3, I'm going to play like king e2. If he tries anything fancy, well, of course my bishop is bad. Maybe I should have thought of that before. I'm just assuming it will get out later on. You know, you got to think about bishops in the long term. You got to really think about them in the long term. The same thing with my white squared bishop on g2. If I played e4, to some people it would be like, what are you doing, you know? But if I know it's a King's Indian attack, and I know that if I play e4, there's still like a 99% chance my bishop's going to get out to h3 or get out to f1 and then onto a new diagonal where it will be very effective. It doesn't matter, you know, it's still powerful. It doesn't have to be on the long diagonal. It can be on a different diagonal. But e4 might be spatially like important for me to keep him off my half of the board. It's a lot to talk about, you know, in a short game. It's basically a fast game. The d4 knight f6 g3. D4 knight f6 g3. Well, it's strictly a transpositional kind of move order. It will become something eventually. I wouldn't mind just trading knights straight up with knight e4 and then slowly creeping out here with our bishop pair. Fianchetto against everything. Fianchetto against the Banco Gambit. Fianchetto against the Benoni. I'm not a huge fan of the Fianchetto against the Benoni. I always thought it was kind of one of Black's least, you know, feared variations to have to face. Unless White is like an absolute specialist, like my friend Zlatko Olincic. You know, he knows the tiny little precisional sort of moves that precise little moves, like he's like Karpov or something. Unless you're that kind of expert in the Fianchetto variation in the Banco or the Benoni, I mean, I don't think that Black has too much to fear. You know, the bishop is just kind of dead on g2 in those openings. Typically, there's a white pawn on d5, so if there's a white pawn on d5, the Fianchetto bishop, well, this is like what I'm talking about, you know, with the e4 pawn. And in this case, it's an e4 pawn. In the Benoni, it's like a pawn on d5. If your bishop's blocked by the pawn on d5, it's not really a good offensive piece. It can be a very good defender. Those positions are okay, but even Kasparov played the Banco Gambit. If he was like guaranteed, his opponent would play the Fianchetto variation. So what's up, guys? Tell me something new. No tournaments, major tournaments going on at the moment. I mean, lots of opens start going on this time of summer coming up. It's not summer, but it's almost summer. Like, I'm not going to play in Zalakaros this year. Tired of playing little kids all the time. I need a break. Alright, too many draws for me anyway. Now, we just slowly untangle our bishop pair. Yeah. That's to be expected. Again, you could take on c6, but I think it would be selling short here. Selling short. Maybe b4, maybe b3, bishop b2. Very flexible position for white. What's my thoughts on f3 against the Benoni? I like f3 against the Benoni. I played the same variation for white against the King's Indian. I mean, it is basically, the Benoni and the King's Indian are basically the same opening. You know, in the old school books, they used to consider them in the same classification. Uh-oh. Okay, guys, now we have to be a little bit careful here. Alright, gonna grab some space. He's gonna get in f5 at some point, so position is getting a little bit lively. We may have to change diagonals. Come back here to keep an eye on the d3, d1 squares. If he plays f5, he opens up all kinds of new avenues, though. The G file, maybe one new avenue. No, I like f3. f3 is also good against the Benko. Much better than the Fianchetto, in my opinion, but it's up to you guys what you like better. f3 against the Benko in particular was very feared, or is a very feared variation, I think. Now, I have to get you off my back here. My eyes are so watery, it's crazy. This just started. Alright, we've got all kinds of pollen. It's coming in through the window. Like these little things floating down from the trees. You took the ELO meter test. Sounds scientific. Alright. I like my king in the center. I like the fact that his bishop is kind of bad and his pawns are pretty extended. Mr. Killy. Mr. Killy. Achilles heel. Alright, what are we doing exactly? Bishop there. Well, I'm just going to develop my pieces, I guess. E4, knight h4, and then knight f3 and rook. Yeah, this is kind of what he's trying to set up, it looks like. Next is knight h4. Watch out for that. I wonder if I should consider putting my bishop on a4, actually. I mean, it doesn't really do a whole lot there. I'm just kidding about the knight h4 thing. I was trying to trick him into hanging a piece. Now I need to play like f3 or something. Really need to open up my white squared bishop. I don't really want to trade pawns, but I might have to do it if I have to play f3 to break through. That's absolutely the best move. Muleskin are literally sacrificing a pawn here. Takes, bishop e5. Man, this is awkward. If I play f3, it's just kind of slow. Very precise play by Morales. It's an excellent pawn sacrifice. There I thought he would play bishop e5 straight away, though. Man, this guy is seriously a genius. He saw all that. Wow. His rating is up to 2053. 1500 in bullet. He doesn't play many games. Just Blitz 1875. Wow. Alright, we gotta go. I had a chance to win a second pawn. I didn't take it. Maybe I should take it, though. Material is material. I kind of think this is a pawn I should grab. I mean, it's an outside passer. Very, very principled play. This pawn seems too strong. Okay, wow, really tough game by Morales there. I don't know if he was ever quite 100% equal, but I thought Bishop E5 at one point would have been pretty good. Maybe when he played 95, I don't remember. No, this was... Yeah, he's almost equal here. Okay, taking on F3 was one move I wasn't sure about here. Should he do that? He could actually play Bishop E5 or Knight E5 immediately, rather than taking on F3. Knight E5 immediately, perhaps possible. But anyway. It says I have no inaccuracies, no mistakes, no blunders. Is that possible? Must be a mistake. Anyway. Okay, Nefedov is up next, and then Morwa. Only stupid names left. You guys who are subscribers will go first. What's up, Goof and Kurt? D takes C is good for black, but it's tricky for the second player in that line. What line? What line are we talking about? Anyway, I'm out of the loop. Too busy here with this game. Thanks for the kapow, Aserbate. Alright, we took him out. Now, against Nefedov, I have to be active. You know, he's pretty well versed in all main lines. We'll try to take him out of his theoretical comfort zone here. I'm just going to play D6. Last time I think I played E6. Nefedov plays C4 again. This is the second time recently he's sort of transposed to a... He's like transposed to a normal King's Indian type of position. If I play G6, it's actually not a King's Indian, but it's a modern, the type of modern with white playing C4, D4. I could play E5 right away. I don't know about that though. I think I'd rather wait. D4, D5, so G3 against the Slav. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people playing that. It's probably something I should try. I should probably try playing G3 against the Semi-Slav, a Wojtkiewicz favorite. I'm getting more into the Catalan type of stuff, which I didn't always play regularly. Now, after this move, I don't know, Nefedov is almost starting to play D4, I guess. This starts to look It starts to look almost standard. Here Nefedov played d5. I was expecting bishop e3. What would Asmai Paras really do here? Punch his opponent or something? No, seriously. He's the one that gets punched. Alright, knight d4. We go knight d4. Threat is stronger than the execution. Then what? Bishop e3. We can play e5 or c5. But I like bishop e3 first. You know, just kind of keeping the tension rather than playing d5. This is playable for white. It's probably not that bad. White is white after all. Typically, I mean, d5 doesn't really do much. It just kind of pushes the knight away. But it's not a constructive move for white. I mean, it does open a long diagonal for black, ultimately. Now he can play en passant, and I can play knight takes with Marazzi type of structure. So anyway, welcome everybody. Tomorrow night is our viewer tournament. We'll probably play like Blitz this week because I've been doing Rapid most weeks. I think we'll do like 5+2 Blitz tomorrow night, so you guys know in advance. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. CEST, Central European Summertime. It will be 5+2 viewer tournament. Again, if I start crying, guys, don't worry about me. I've got some allergies starting up here. So knight takes c6. How's my friends list going? Well, I got like the main ones who are people who take lessons from me, my regular friends that I talk to every day, back, like, which constitutes like 30 people. But as far as like, you know, the other half, I still have to construct it again. By the way, I talked to Thibault about the incident, you know, and he hasn't really figured it out, as far as I know, what happened to my account. You know, I guess he didn't have too much time to worry about it, but you know, if he's the main programmer, he doesn't know off the top of his head what it was. It's kind of an interesting question. But Tom Bartel said it looked like my email had reset itself or something, which is weird. I don't understand what that means. All right, Nefedov. Now, what are you going to do, Nefedov? You're going to castle queenside in the Marazzi? What would Roman do here? Yeah, this is like a... I don't know, queen a5 is sort of artificial. Maybe it's just the wrong plan, actually. I should really just straight up develop my pieces. Queen a5 is probably a mistake. I don't have to fear bishop h6. If he wants to trade dark square bishops, that's actually not only my best minor piece, but his best minor piece as well. So that's the irony of bishop h6. The dark squared bishop is the best piece for both sides. So this comes with certain risks. I have weird moves. I could play like knight d4 here. Andy Soltis style. Wow, knight d4. Knight d4, bishop takes g7, knight takes f3, check. King moves, knight takes... Am I serious? Knight d4, queen takes, bishop takes h6. Black is slightly better. Or I could just take and play knight to d4. That might be simpler. It's like a Pierce, like a good Pierce for black. What is he doing there? He has to sack a pawn with like castle's queenside. But that may not be so bad for him, actually. For that matter, if I do play knight d4 right away, he still castles queenside. The knight takes f3. Ooh, that's kind of awkward for white. I guess we will do this. Alright, I'm down to a minute. I didn't realize that Nefedov challenged me to 5+3. You're a software developer too. But you would think it would have affected other people too. It can't just be like just me, you know? I mean, it would have to affect like a number. What happened here? Knight c2 check, anyone? Bishop takes h6. I mean, what's the difference really? On one case, I guess, you know, his queen is more active. In the other case, it's less active. No castling queenside for you, okay? None of that. This is a total, just, you know, opposite colored bishop. Classic. Can someone kind of explain what happens after queen takes d4? I take his bishop on h6, man. It's very deep. It's kind of like the game, except his queen's on a different square. No big deal, Soltigo. Yeah, it's nothing fancy, just a trade of pieces. But favorable for black because I have the better, you know, the better of the opposite colored bishops. If you notice this position, his bishop on e2 is slightly... Any resemblance to a pawn is purely coincidental. Maybe at some point I ought to castle. He can trade queens with queen a4 check. But then I'm down to 24 seconds. Okay. I'm not even looking at the clock. It's bad. Hopefully my subconscious is paying attention to the clock. I'm just not consciously looking at it. Just trying to play good moves. What game of yourself are you most proud of? I don't know. I played so many games, that's kind of hard to say. I had this one tournament where I won 2 games with black against GMs in the last 2 rounds to tie for first. You know, that was kind of an achievement, not really like a game that I was proud of. I have a really nice combination, a beautiful kind of combinational game against Vasek Rilich's wife, Iveta Rilich, where I was proud of my style of play. I played kind of differently than I normally do. But, I mean, I've played so many games and I don't remember most of them, you know? It's very difficult. It's like asking me what my favorite band is, you know? Like, too many things that I like to narrow it down. We're just slightly better, but it's hard to take Nefedov out here. Maybe I shouldn't trade queens. I don't know how to really avoid it there. Wow, he just goes right for it. Couldn't help himself. It's a principled decision by Nefedov. He seems like he's almost playing for the clock. Playing consistently fast. Yeah. I knew you were going to do that at some point. Whoa. That did not... That wasn't on the radar. I just could have won a rook. That's good. Could have won a rook. He did it again. Man. I don't know why Pavel's playing so fast. I guess he has to go to work or something. Alright, your second violation of rook drop. I caught you on the second time. Yeah, this was an interesting opening and funny. Magnus's dad. My game against Magnus's dad. The analysis session after was the best part. Alright, so what's up here? E5 is the main move there. Josef Klinger. Swiss. No, he's Austrian, right? Poker player, Klinger. He's a very, very good poker player. Possibly a cheater. Alright, bishop g4, d5, knight d4. Rigged poker games. Be careful. c5. This has actually all been played. But queen d2 now. I want to see if this move I played is best. At the end of the day, I decided on knight f6. Nothing weird like queen a5. Looks like it's the right decision. And then he plays bishop h6. I think this is a mistake. This is Nefedov's mistake. So knight d4 is the computer's #1 move. I'm telling you, this is like an Andy Soltis move. Soltis is an expert in King's Indian and Dragon. And this position is basically like a little bit of both. So, yeah, knight d4, I'm proud of this move. This is best, definitely, man. And he should take with the queen because he was surprised. But in this scenario, his queen is at least centralized on d4, where it ends up on c2, where it's just kind of like not even relevant. Yeah, this is probably, again, you know, sacking the pawn with castle queenside is interesting, but there's all sorts of problems there. I was looking at this, you know. You can't go here because of knight g4. Well, I guess you can. I mean, I guess this is a key variation. I looked at this, you know, knight g4, queen takes f3. Now here I mistakenly thought I had to play bishop takes h6 check, but he may have some compensation in this sort of position. He needs to look for something like e5, maybe, I don't know. Alright, we got mistakes though. It looks like I missed winning a rook. That kind of was lame. Alright, Marois is up next. He's been playing well lately. Thanks for the game, Nefedov. But bishop h6 is a positional mistake. Not only does it lose time, but you really need that piece, I think. Alright. e4. What are we going to do? Let's play the Scandinavian with knight f6. My old standby. Marois should be in school. He must have off school again. Camel Culture. I added you to my friends list. You're now one of my friends. My new friends. I got rid of all my old friends. Just ditched all my old friends and made new friends. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, last week some kind of bug or something affected my account. So I was no longer an IM. I was no longer a streamer. And my whole friends list was deleted. And then I had to slowly put it back together. I'm still in the process of doing that. I have no idea, and even the lichess administrators don't really understand what happened. Just that's the way it was when I woke up one day. Alright, so d4. Lo siento. We'll see what he's got here. I basically stopped playing this opening on a serious level because it's just too easy for white. There's too many good lines for white. It was too easy for 2100 players to get an advantage. But it's good for rapid and blitz. Now bishop e3. Okay, bishop e3 is considered to be like slightly not the main line because I think h3 is the main move here. By reverse engineering, you could figure out the way to exploit it would be to play bishop g4, but it's not forced. We can transpose back into main line with castles, but I'm just thinking Is there any way for him to exploit that? I guess bishop g4 is a good move here. That's my patented maneuver. We can bounce the knight back in the game through c8. It's not the Alekhine, it just looks like it. Alekhine. It's a close relative. Actually, the Scandinavian, the Alekhine's defense, and the Pierce, I would go as far as to say, are all kind of, I would say, basically in the kind of same family of openings. Scandinavian and Alekhine's defense in particular. I mean, where you're going knight d5, knight b6. I got a little, yeah, this must be the allergies. I got a little bit of like hoarseness in my voice too. Man, my eyes feel like they're swelling out of my head. You don't like this mix of modern and Scandi? I barely escaped the Mandela effect, and I was almost erased from the dimension by a matter of seconds. Ooh. Drink some tea. I was fine when I woke up, but now, I don't know, man. I feel like kind of dizzy. All right, c5. Well, I was talking about c8, right? Yeah, I mean, we go with a straight up Alekhine style. This will probably bounce through e7. But that's a standard maneuver in the Alekhine's defense. Man, my eyes are... People would always joke that I'm Asian because my eyes are really not very wide open a lot. And I feel like my eyes are swelling shut right now. So I look even worse. Alright, h3. Bishop takes f3. I guess I have to execute bishop takes f3. But now we're going to threaten to take a pawn and keep it. With bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight c6. There he has bishop b5 though. What am I going to do? Sack a pawn? Ooh, I don't like this. I wouldn't dare to think about taking this pawn. Bishop takes d4, castles queenside with a wild initiative for white. I mean, seriously? That looks extremely dangerous for black. Wow. Like, his center should be overextended, but it's not. Now what do I do? Okay, this is not good. I have to play c6 here. That doesn't look right. Knight c6, bishop e5, and white's just winning. Man, that's... You always thought I was part Asian? Yeah, just my mom has that too. But we're not Asian. We just don't open our eyes wide enough for something. I don't know what it is. There was this kid in high school who used to tease me. He would call me wide eyes. Jeff Lello. I still remember him 35 years later. 30 years later. 30 years. It hasn't been that long, but yeah, he would pick on me in science class. All right. 8th grade biology or 9th grade biology class. Queen takes f3. Even my teacher was mean to me in that class, Mr. David. Knight c6, bishop e5. Man, this just sucks for black. This is terrible. Alright, anyway. Morwaz invented a new line against the Scandinavian. You just called my whole idea of playing bishop g4 into question, basically. You know, you're making this whole thing out to be a fail. Why does white need to play h3? Then white doesn't need to play h3. Then this whole thing is a fail. Maybe knight c8 is wrong. Maybe I should bring the knight back to d7. That still doesn't seem like a vast improvement. I mean, it gets in the way of my queen and bishop. Now I just have this horribly passive position with no development and no counterplay. We need to act fast here. This is why I don't play this opening anymore? Yes. This is why. This is one of the many reasons why. This just looks strategically lost for black. Like, absolutely lost. This is like a nightmare scenario. Knight d8 and knight e8. Well, knight d8 in the King's Indian? How do you get a knight on d8? I mean, that's one thing in the Roy Lopez, but I could see the classical Roy Lopez, but in the King's Indian, a knight on d8? How do you get that? Like, you go knight f7? I don't think I've ever had a knight on d8 in the King's Indian in my life. Now, ironically, it looks like I have to play knight f7, knight f6, which seems like I just wasted all sorts of time. Man, my knight on c8 is just stupid here. This is awful for black. It's like when I lost to James Plaskett. It was like the worst game of my life. He was wearing this big red scarf, and I played the black side of a knight f6 Scandinavian. My god, he just blew me away. But it was a bishop g4 line. This is basically the same thing that happened against Plaskett, just I wasn't fianchetto. Against Plaskett, I had the bishop on e7. He looked like Snoopy and the Red Baron. Alright, castles, knight d7. This is just gross. At least on d5 I can play knight e5 now. Now hopefully Morwa will let me survive. I'm not liking my chances here, but... G4. What am I doing? My god. What is this knight on c8? Man, I don't like this variation. I'm never going to play bishop g4 again. If I ever play this position again in my life. He's trying to kill me. What about h5? Everything's bad? This is just like fatal for black. Absolutely 100% fatal. If he plays h5, even if he doesn't play h5, it's got to be fatal. It's just resignable. Oh my god. It's like my worst position ever in my life. You can just resign. It's so easy to play for white, it's ridiculous. Should I do this? I mean, well, whatever I do, I'm just resigning soon. At least my knight could move, theoretically. Don't ever do this. There's no lesson on defense here. This is getting mated. White would have to really mess this up to not win. I mean, this is the ultimate position. Funny, I never remember this happening exactly. Now I have h5 is optimal. He doesn't waste any time with other stuff. We could try to run away or something. Hey, the d6 square is protected. That's good. If he ever tries to sink a knight in here, that's covered. This is just getting mated. A lesson on how to get mated. Maybe I could play g5. Take with the f-pawn. That's suicide. Yeah, here, I mean, I could theoretically play g5, couldn't I? Maybe he made a mistake. Still, it's an enormous position for white, but not opening the file there, it appears to be the wrong idea. He could have opened the lines and he didn't. Still very, very good position for white, but not as good as it could have been. With an exchange on g6, I'm just resigning. I was going to try to run away, but I don't think that would have been realistic. Maybe I could try to play like king h8. Three attackers on g5. What can I do? I have to play f6. I can't take his bishop on e3. Semi-defensible in this time control. I wouldn't want to have this position in a tournament game. It's an absolute nightmare. Why would anyone want to play this opening for black? Man, why would I do this? I'll never do bishop g4 again. That's why I played g6 and not bishop g4 in the first place. He tricked me. Just better to allow him to play h3. I mean, h3 is a slow move anyway, so... Knight c3 going backward. Wow. Well, I need some sort of counterplay here. Obviously, I can't play knight takes knight. And now he's focusing on that. There's a tactic, bishop takes f7 check, which doesn't do anything. Not yet, anyway. Maybe I could win on time. He also has like knight takes d5 in one moment. Yeah, I was just thinking that. How do I take back? C-pawn just drops a pawn. I have to take this way. This is awful, but I'm on a2. There's no immediate forced win. What about my knight on c8? What am I going to do with that? Bishop d8. Man, what a perfect position for white. Trading queens. Mommy, I'm scared. He offers a draw. Alright, you got a draw, man. Anytime you want here, you can have a draw. Anytime you want. I don't care what your rating is. I was like, this is horrible for black. White's just still clearly better. It's a pawn plus, at least a pawn plus based on strategic advantages like the file, better structure. My pawn is on h6. I'm paralyzed to this here. Even this position is just massively plus 2.5. Plus 2.5. Plus 3. But okay, we're a little low on time. It's a practical decision. We can justify it. I don't know. He figures he'll blunder in time pressure because I'm a stronger blitz player, and so he offered a draw. I mean, okay, you can make fun of him for it, but we've all done this. You know. He lost a chunk of his advantage, and he figured, I'll cut my losses and take a draw. But, I mean, it's easy to look at the computer and say plus 3, you know. A human being is thinking more like, well, I'm probably like plus 1. Plus 1.5 pawns here, something like that. I wasn't thinking it would be that high. But black is basically paralyzed. If I could trade bishops, maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but he probably avoids any exchanges, you know, like rook e1, bishop c7, and avoiding the exchanges of pieces. But the opening is catastrophic for me. Let's see. So, he played 7 bishop e3. Yeah. Grishuk versus Malakhov, 2000. It's funny because Grishuk played against me. I think Grishuk played a4 against me. But he must have played it on the previous move. Grishuk played a4 here in my Blitz game with Alexei. Alexander. Alexei is not. Alexander Grishuk. Yeah, that's a speculative move though. A4 is more like horsing around. You know, knight c3 is serious. And then I just can't play bishop g4 here. I thought, well, then why does everyone play h3 if bishop e3 is a good move? So we just have to play castles, you know? And this is actually a good question. Okay, the g-pawn. Oftentimes white plays like h3 and g4. To do g4, that's the other point of h3. But I mean, maybe white should just go without it. What's wrong with this? You know, there's a question as to whether bishop g4 is even that good. Now I'm not sure it has any point, really. So anyway, more questions than answers, but basically Marwal's point is, does white really need to play h3? There was a lot of analysis on this in some old yearbooks in New in Chess. Why not knight d5 instead of knight c8? Yeah, you're right. Just because knight c8 is fancy. My honest reasoning is because of the b7 pawn. I mean, sometimes it's just bad to do knight d5 because of queen b3. You know, it's oftentimes like a double attack. That's why my reaction is to not play knight d5. But in this particular position, I forgot that I would have knight takes e3. Yeah, so here, you're right. You're justified. You're justified in this. Still, white is better, but at least I can trade pieces on e3. I forgot about that. Okay, let's go back to the next challenge. Very bad opening for black. Do not try that at home. Of course, the Alekhine's defense is ambiguous in places, and I'm sure there's like, in these kind of openings, like the Scandinavian with knight f6 and Alekhine's defense, you know, there's probably a lot more holes and a lot more, like, you know, ideas that haven't been found as opposed to like mainline stuff. A lot more room for homework. You could go find some new ideas in an opening like this. That's why I liked to play this back in the day, but now it's just too easy for people to learn all the openings. It's better not to play inferior stuff, I guess. So c4. Only stupid names left. This is G.G. Helis. 1800 classical, 1400 blitz, 1600 rapid. It's got all kinds of ratings. Alright. This is my new attempt. My old new attempt. My new old attempt. I've been playing this every game, basically, against the classical Nimzo. b6 was never considered a serious move, but the idea is that after e4, c5 rehabilitates this line. If you have to play bishop b7, you just have a bad position. I remember in a tournament years ago, my best friend had a game that went like that. I think he was white and his opponent played like e4, bishop b7, and it was just awful for black. That's not even a Nimzo. I mean, I don't know what to call that. It's like some kind of bad English defense. But e4, c5 is surprisingly resilient. I was just thinking though. Oh yeah, I remember this. Someone I saw took on c5. That seems lame. I'm not going to name any names. Certain author of a book on the classical Nimzo. D takes c5 looks really feeble, you know, for white. Okay, so e5. This we've had a number of games already. Actually, who was that against? Haberbaum, who hasn't been on the stream since I've been back, as far as I remember. Alekhine's defense, like the Dutch, I think that it should be avoided by players under 1800. Too hyper-aggressive, too hyper-modern. I mean, you've got to really get your fundamentals in order to even dare to play an opening like that. I just don't think that anybody under 1800 should be messing around with openings. I don't even know if, like, even experienced masters shouldn't really play those openings unless they've been playing it their whole life. If you want to, you know, have good results, if you just want to mess around, it's another story. Okay, so this is our main line. Not going to name any names. There was a game, Sevillano. It was like Vigorito versus Sevillano, and he played that. It was like really lame. D takes c5, like, what is white doing there? B takes c, alright. This is our main line, right? The Morozevich variation. We've had a number of games against Haberbaum in this. Maybe we played Only Stupid Names Left as well. I forgot. But Haberbaum, we had like 3 games. So it was like Bishop B7, and then I was looking at A4, D6. We're always playing Bishop B7, and the question was, what should white here do? There was one game where Haberbaum like put his knight on F3, and I sheared it off, and I had like 2 knights against 2 bishops. There was another game where there was A4, and I think I played D6. And there's also the possibility of doing like A4, knight E7 with the idea of knight F5. 50 viewers, not bad. What did we do right today? You play knight G8. This is different. This is a different position. I have to put my knight on G8, man. This is interesting. I think I've had interesting games every time I played this position. The funny thing is, like, the original version of this line, I think Ulf Andersson played with black. Maybe Bishop F8, if I remember correctly. Something like Bishop F8, there's some old games. It does A4. Looked at this with the engine a little bit. Was it D6? Not the only move, though. I mean, it is possible to play knight E7, I guess. It's really not sure what the best is. I think Morozevich may have played knight E7. But if I remember correctly, the engine, Stockfish that is, actually called D6 the last time I checked. Yeah, of course, Bishop A3 is an idea, is one of the main ideas. I'm not saying this is best. I'm just suggesting something for white. You know, it's not clear what the best is. In all the games that Haberbaum played, he kept getting overextended, you know. I mean, it's very easy to do that here with white. Queen C3 is a subtle move, like protecting D4 without moving your knight. What if I try to pile up? Maybe knight C6 now? But then he can go knight F3 and his knight's not harassed. His knight is not filing harassment charges here. I can play knight E7 and try to get castled. That might be my best bet. And Queen C3 is an extremely accurate looking move. Preparing to play Bishop A3 under the right circumstances. while preventing me from castling. I mean, knight c6, knight f3. And then bishop a3 is coming anyway. And I can play perhaps like knight c6 there. Well, I'm saying knight c6, knight f3, maybe knight e7 there. The other option is to play knight e7 right away. I know it's really hard to call. This is a risky line for black. There's no question, you know. This isn't what I would recommend if you want like the most solid way to play as black against the classical Nimzo. I mean, this is like if you want to push the envelope and maybe, you know, get an interesting game while willing to take some risks. Tempting to trade queens here, but it feels wrong. But on the other hand, I've got to be careful. You know? Man. I got to do something. I'm scared. He seems to play really well. He has a bad score, but so many games, only stupid name left. I mean, he has a great position against me. Where are you on the list? The list? Well, Tushar, you're the only person who's a subscriber who's challenging me that I know of. So you would be next on the list. Guys, please subscribe and support the stream if possible. All right, bishop e2. That's fine. No harm, no foul. Now we can develop our knight to its best square. He's got hanging pawns. I mean, it's kind of a typical structure. We've given up our Nimzo bishop, doubled the pawns, but they then like advanced into hanging pawns. You can kind of imagine that's what happened here, or whatever you want. Self-service. Self-service. There's many ways to interpret that. All right. Reminds me of my ex-college roommate. All right, camel culture and self-service. Queen b4. Queen b4 feels weak, but I'm scared. You know, I don't really like his queen being on the board with that bishop pair, and we're obviously going to trade. We're obviously going to trade queens at one point, but if I play knight e4 here, he's just taking, and then my knight just kind of sits out there without a real purpose. I'd love to keep my king in the center, but I can't see I'm going to get away with that with the dark square bishop on the board. It's just too dangerous. I can't put my king on e7. There's no safe place, no safe haven for the... I wonder if I should allow him to do this. Queen takes b4, knight takes b4. He could play... Nah, he can't keep his king in the center either. I mean, there's no king d2. I still think that white is better here. The bishop pair is the bishop pair. Now I need to trade queens. We do have counterplay against the hanging pawns, though. It's true. Worthy of consideration is knight e4. Kind of messing with them a little bit. I wouldn't call it a developing move. Problem is, if I don't do knight e4 right away, he's going to play bishop e3 in some lines. I also have bishop a6, though. Another interesting idea. Alright. If he does bishop d3, we'll do bishop a6. He could play a5. I didn't really consider that. I was thinking, oh, he won't give up his bishop, but maybe a5 is a good move. That's awkward. I also have knight e4 in some moment. Now I can play bishop a6. That could have been the moment for a5 there for white. No, now it's like not possible right now. Play e4 against you? You want to play the French? Hey, thanks for subscribing, Paulie. self-service. Yeah, we're talking about same-day service. Reminds me of Roman Gigiashvili. Once we went into some gyros place and like he was waiting forever for his food, and he went to the counter and he was like, "What is this? Same-day service?" All right. Bishop A6. Another subscriber, Nips MD. That's 2 subscribers. We got 50 viewers today. Your 8-game adoption streak. Adoption? Okay, I'm missing something. What are we going to do now? Just bring our rook to D1? D8? Whatever it is? He's protecting C4 indirectly. There is a problem here. The problem is A5, believe it or not. It's really irritating. What am I going to do about A5? Play knight B8 or something? Man. It seems almost ridiculous to play knight B8. It can't be right. He's 1600, pretty strong. Okay, knight B8, this looks like a bad C3 Sicilian now. One of these things where I've gone like bishop A6. But maybe it's not so bad. I can bring the knight back to D7. None of these lines I can ever play knight A5. I'm guarding my A6 bishop in the event of A5 it will be protected. You know, that's all I can say here. Keep pressure on his hanging pawns. Now he's recirculated, but that's fine. You know, now the whole position has changed. I don't know about this maneuver, bishop E3. We're back to C6 again. Now we can bring more pressure to bear. The only thing is that if I move my knight from C6 again, then he goes knight E5. You know, I don't want his knight to get on E5 entrenched there forever, because it's going to be very hard to get it off once it gets in there. Do I ever have any tactics like E5 maybe? Yes. Yeah, it might be even... It's possible I'm threatening E5 in some moment. Like here, it's starting to become possible. Can he play D5? Probably not a great move. Okay, now knight A5, knight E5, knight D7. Maybe we just play simple. No, he's got knight B3. Yeah, I had to play knight D2. That was forced. So now I have E5 ideas. E5, pawn takes pawn. But it's like, what does this even do, you know? E5, pawn takes pawn, knight D7. He's got tactics to save himself. Maybe we could just win on time. I'm ready to like quadruple on the pawn on C4. It's possible that I'm a tiny bit better here now through all this maneuvering. But the computer doesn't agree. It found a maneuver. Rook A3, rook C3. Quadruply protecting C4. So that's like the minimum. He can do that. And white is still a tiny bit better according to the computer. Okay, let's see where the theory ended there just briefly before we start the next game. This is all pretty common. It looks like a4 is very rare. But the position has only been played in like 15 games thus far. 2013, 2014, 2015. But it seems to be out of fashion now. In the last 3 years, there's no games. When do we get a chess emote? Chess emoji. We'll have a talk with our moderator about that. What about 97, 95? 95 anyway. Maybe. I mean, white's not worse, I guess. But just out of curiosity, has anyone played a4? Yes. So Morozevich played knight c6. Which seems... No. Yes. Maybe Morozevich knows what he's doing. We ought to have a deeper look at this. He just might know what he's doing. I don't know. But I don't trust my engine because my computer's processor is slow. It's not clear. I've tried 97. I've tried d6 so far. I played d6 again. So this was played by Lupulescu, Romanian Grandmaster. He managed to beat a 2300. The guy played a5. Wow, that's kind of neglecting development, but man, that's kind of insane actually. a5. What about your center, Holmes? 97. He just... Yeah, one would think like black would just take on e5 and like white center would be blown to smithereens. But Lupulescu just developed his pieces. It's hard to resist taking on e5 here. Alright guys, let's consider ourselves lucky to win that game and play the next one against Tushar. I mean, a5 just neglects development. I mean, that seems weird. You're just chilling with your king on e1 in an open position. I mean, it's one thing to play a4, but then to spend another tempo to play like a5. You need to get the pieces out there. So Tushar asked me to play e4. Sometimes I play everything. We've got the ambulance emote. It's pretty small, though. There it is. We need a bigger ambulance emote. We should go with a bigger size, Soltigo. Can we get a bigger size one? It looks too small. Alright, Pikachu is in the house. The rest is up to the streamer to submit them. I keep trying to push it off on Soltigo. It's all his fault. Alright, what are we playing here? Man. That is not the stream emote. Just a joke about ambulances. I live near a hospital. There's constantly ambulances when I have the window open. You guys will hear it. It looks like an ice cream truck, man. The blue one. Alright guys, mainline Winnower French here. I don't know the theory that well, as someone should. But Gigi Hillis, you're doing the right thing, you know, and using your time. A lot of people won't do that, and they just try to play fast. You're doing what I recommend that people do, which is like take your time, just continue to try to play the best moves. The important thing is that you become a strong player. Then you can learn how to play fast later on. I mean, I think the first priority is to play well, you know. Then you can worry about being the super world's fastest blitz player and bullet player and hyper bullet or whatever. But I used to see this when I was playing for money in the park or in the cafe, you know. There were these people who just never would get better. They would just try to play as fast as possible, but just making bad moves. What is that? Acerbate? That's true. Yeah, playing longer games, yeah. For a guy that just started, what should I go for? Yeah, I like that time control. Asfasano, 15 plus 15. That's enough for thoughtful. I think that's enough for thoughtful chess. It's hard to find challenges on online sites longer than 15-15. I mean, you will if you really look for it slowly, but if you're looking to play informally, you know, just pick up games. 15-15 is probably pretty reasonable. Why can't I just play bishop a3 here? Okay, maybe Tushar is new to the French. So we're basically trying to take his lunch money for the ice cream truck. The unicorn. Ponies. Since my name is Sparkle Horse on lichess, we need some ponies. Brony emotes. You're getting bullied. If you're his last opponent, then have a decent technical grasp for the game. Yeah, I agree. For his rating, I mean, he plays very mature chess. Self-service. For someone who's like 1600. Chess bronies. Chess bronies. What is up with this? Castles, and then you're gonna like sack the pawn on c5. Whoa. Extreme pawn sacrifices. If I play bishop c4 here, I mean bishop d3, Freudian slip, sorry. Bishop d3, c4. I can always go back to e2. Smyslov like to do that. Is it worth it? I mean, should we go for this? There was this game when I was younger I watched at the World Open. My friend was like 11 years old or 12. He was like 12 when he played Jay Bonin, and this particular person, I remember, crushed Jay when he was 12 years old. No bronies. I like, no, I don't have favorite songs. I like many different stuff. He goes for f6. I mean, I was going to maybe do the George sacrifice. Looks pretty dangerous. And I can take on f6. What's going on here anyway? I mean, is Black's king really safe? Where's my king going? Wow. Okay, I have no idea. I mean, should we try to win a pawn? Actually, I can't win a pawn. He'll probably have queen a5 if I try to take the pawn. I guess we castle. We just have to take and castle. 3 for 1. You what? I found out a month ago that my favorite professor is a brony. You took with the rook here? Oh man, I was only afraid of the pawn takes. But I guess rook takes isn't so bad. It doesn't strike fear in my heart the way that pawn takes did. I was afraid of the center overrunning me. Yeah, now he plays c4. I can understand that. There's a logic to this. I have a similar correspondence game going on right now against Morwa, one of our former opponents today. I mean, from the Nimzovich standpoint, you know, the e5 square is really weak and Black's bishop is bad on c8. But at the same time, the position is so locked, it's like hard for White to do anything. Just keeps coming. The Energizer Bunny. Knight f4. Knight on g6. My favorite square. If he plays e5, he creates a backward pawn at d5, which is going to give me a lot of play. Maybe queen d2 and rook ae1. What am I supposed to do now? Wait, what would Smyslov do? Some sort of maneuver. What would Rubinstein do? Bang, bang. Now we turn it against him. We got to play f4. Shut him down. I mean, if you want to play this kind of positional line for white against the winnower, my recommendation is to study Smyslov's games. I don't know that much, you know. I'm just a part-time e4 player. Rook e1, bishop f1, bishop h3 is normal. Are you threatening me? Now, where to put my bishop on g4 or something? Just keep him busy. Man, if he goes knight d6, we'll have to chop it off. That's alright. Tushar, are you new to the French, or have you been playing it? Because you seem pretty natural here. Learning as you go. Okay, rook f8 is kind of weird. Maybe I should have played knight f3 there. I can't decide where to put my pieces. There's not enough time. I mean, obviously knight f3, knight e5 is very natural. But it blocks my rook, blocks my bishop. There's some drawbacks. I was thinking maybe using my bishop on this diagonal. That's why I didn't want to play knight f3 for sure. It's obviously strange to put his rook on f8 in the pin. Now I wish I had... very Smyslovian. Wait a minute. How many pieces does he have on f4? Are you serious? Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to lose on time, I guess. Wow. I could play a5 and sack a pawn. Maybe g4, g5 in some position. Yeah, this is a very logical move. What am I doing? Can I win an exchange or something? Okay, that needs to go. And then g5. He'll have to sack the exchange. He's so fast. Alright, sack the exchange. Do what you want. But he still has compensation. It's like playing Ivan Farago. Ivan. Senior Grandmaster here in Budapest. He's still solid. He's like in his early 70s. It's like a rock. Proverbial rock player. He's even more solid than me. I feel like I'm close to walking into tactics. Yes, of course. Man, this guy is fast. He's incredibly fast, and he plays good moves. He's 1956 in Bullet. Wow. Is something finally breaking? All right. He's still not done. We have a check. It doesn't do anything, so I really ought to trade queens. But now we're just basically up the exchange. The moves just keep coming. Man, he's hanging in there again. Stop defending so well. I'm going to use all my pieces. I don't have king f6, man. How is he finding these moves so fast? Seriously, how does he find these moves so fast? This is an absolute robbery. What happened in this game? Okay, you're just totally winning. I mean, if you play any other move. I mean, how could you rob me like that and find those moves that fast? Man, no time left. He finds knight d7. And he's like playing faster than me in a terrible position. I have no way to mate him because of rook takes e6 check. This is probably winning, but I didn't have time to calculate it. Like rook d8, sacking the pawn on e6. I just couldn't find this in time. Maybe this move. But I couldn't calculate. Yeah, I'm just totally winning. But I mean, what a robbery. Knight d7 now I thought I was lost here, honestly. He finds this. Man. Takes b3. I really thought I was lost here. Wow. I guess e7 is a bad move, though. There's no need to do that. Now he has rook takes e7. He didn't play it. Yeah, he didn't see it as rook takes e7 and rook a6 check, winning the rook on a6. Terrible finish to that game. All right. So what do we got for subscribers left? Is anyone else a subscriber that's challenging me? Like Valido? I know that Valido was a subscriber at one point. S6PG is not a subscriber. Repetition of position. I mean, that was terrible. I blundered all my rooks with knight d7. Oh my god. But he just kept the pressure on the whole game and time. Really, really bad center-pawn loss by both sides. I'm thinking the opening, though, he was kind of making it up. Okay, guys, I don't know if anyone's a subscriber. Let me know. Like, Valido, are you still a subscriber? Because if not, I'll just take the rest of the challenges in order. I've got time for like three more 15-minute games, basically. Yeah, something like 4 more, probably another hour yet. Oh, Turkey Farm is a subscriber. All right. Turkey farm your testosterone, right? And Valido's here too. Okay. Testosterone and Valido, right? At the back of the queue. You're not even on the queue anymore. You just fell out of the queue. You just dropped out. You were so depressed. I know we have a lot of people watching today. Usually it's not that crowded. Maybe nobody else is streaming today. Or maybe just everybody knows how fun it is. Testosterone. We didn't play for a while. I feel like I'm black every game. Not last game, though. Every game except for the last one. Anyway. So I've got time for 4 games. Thanks to the new subscribers. We need the support. If you guys want to donate via PayPal, we can appreciate that as well. I thought Valida was a subscriber. Okay, so we got 2 subscribers. Then we'll play 2 other games, I guess. With non-subscribers. I hate the closed Sicilian. But this is actually, this is what they call a chameleon variation. Just in case I play the Najdorf. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. I don't play the Najdorf and Dragon, really. I don't play the normal Dragon. And the Najdorf and the normal Dragon are the 2 things the chameleon variation really affects. Okay, this is a strange move. You see people do this once in a while, but I don't see the point in exchanging on c6. As an Italian, it's always kind of funny to hear Sicilian. It's long been, like, considered the most active defense to e4 in modern chess because of Bobby Fischer and Kasparov primarily, who championed it. So bishop c4, this is a weird line. I don't think this has ever actually been recommended by like anyone in books, but I see this all the time, this idea of taking on c6 and then putting the bishop on c4. Like, where do you come up with this? Is there someone making videos who recommends doing this for white? Because typically, like, taking on c6 is considered to be just a total mistake in the white side of the Sicilian strategically. The point is not to play into a crappy dragon for white. I think it gives away all advantage for white, but it's probably playable. Like, you're not worse. You're not going to be able to get an advantage, but okay, if you get a position you're comfortable with, that's probably more important than having a theoretical advantage. Bobby likes bishop c4. Bobby likes bishop c4. Bobby's dead. Bobby liked bishop c4 in the normal in the normal open Sicilian, sure. The random legal move variation, yeah. I mean, it's actually kind of frustrating because it's not that easy for black to figure out exactly how to play against it. It's one of those, like, Potzer variations. Who was recently, Aronian played something they called the Potzer variation. It was like knight b5 in one of those London systems very early. In New Chess, they called it that. Just throw the pieces out to the most active looking squares. It's easy to play for white. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Testosterone. I've played bishop e6 in such positions occasionally. Well, what if I play like knight d7 and try to take that guy out, though? I'm going to drop a pawn. Yeah, that's good. Wow, very accurate move order by white, too. He's even on my e7 pawn. Not really sure. Sometimes I played a5 in such situations. Good night, Camel Culture. I don't like rook e8, really. What to suggest here. But, like, where did you figure out this was a variation, Testosterone? That's what I'm asking. Is there someone promoting playing this for white? Is this something you saw somewhere? Or just something you made up on your own? That's what I'm asking. And I never really got any evidence as to where this comes from. You know, it doesn't have a name. It's recommended, like, it kind of goes against general principles, but yet I see a lot of people do it, and you kind of wonder, like, well, who taught those people to play like this? You came up with it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen players up to 2100 to employ this kind of system with white. It's actually fairly frustrating to play against. I wouldn't call it dangerous, but it takes black out of book, and it's not bad. Yeah, you have no breaks for black. See, that's the thing that I guess kind of pisses people off. I have no pawn breaks. Now, like rook e8, rook fe8, f4. I have no idea what my plan is. Just trade here. Now I have this problem on the A file. It's probably not the biggest deal, but yeah, white's position is so solid, it's ridiculous. Okay, f4 isn't the most solid move, but that's part of the plan usually. You play this regularly somehow. Yeah, well, I'm saying a lot of people do, but for something that's not recommended in books, isn't really promoted in videos, it's funny how a non-existent sort of opening, variation spreads itself. I mean, something that doesn't exist really theoretically has become so widespread. I see it pretty regularly, I mean, I'd say 1 in 20 games or something like that. When I try to play this sort of accelerated dragon, we run into this type of thing. Now f7 is a problem. Very solid for white. See, check. Knight e5, nothing. I've got nothing to do. No plan. Problems with the f7 pawn now. No way to free myself. Black's just worse here. I have to be opportunistic, I guess. Really don't know what to do. Seems weird to trade this bishop, but it's driving me nuts, That bishop on g5 is just driving me absolutely nutty. It's just crushing my position. I can't do anything. Probably a bad move, though. I mean, I need to do something. Maybe I'll take with the pawn here. Unfortunately, taking with the pawn leaves my d6 pawn too weak. So I have to take with the knight. But eventually I can break out with like d5 or something. Wow, okay, h4 is going a little bit too far. Wow, I mean, is there no limit to what you can do? f6 was bad for black, of course. This is probably bad for black too. But man, this play by white is very hard to do anything against. What am I supposed to do against this? Semi-panicking here. I'm trying to force his hand a little bit. I'm threatening bishop takes c3. Very hard for black to get any pressure. He could just play like rook e1 or something. Wow, b4. I think he missed the point there. I mean, a lot of people just wouldn't imagine like me giving up my bishop, but it's all forced. He just blundered his queen. This is a really annoying system, though. I mean, black was just clearly worse here. I think if we look at the position after 15 moves. Am I so quickly worse? Plus 0.8. 0.6 now it's dropped to. But a very unpleasant position with like no counterplay for black. I don't know. Like, look how few games there'll be here. Computer claiming it's equal. We've got actually games. Actual games. You know, come to think of it, I've seen people doing this with the colors reversed with black. There's Vladimir Onishek from 2004. Okay, some very random games. But I've seen somebody doing this with black now that I think about it. Something similar to this. Against the English, in the English reverse Sicilian positions, I've seen black defending with this type of setup. One player in particular, I don't remember who it was, like Fedoseev or someone, playing regularly this type of thing that he's doing here with black. So it's like a kind of defense and then reversing the colors. But I don't know. Looks like Queen c5. Queen c7 was actually played by Narkiev, who's the best player to face this. Bishop b3, knight f6, and then it's like, what do you do next? Once you reach like this point, I don't know what black's supposed to do here. The computer can claim that it's equal all it wants to, but I just don't really get it. Like putting my bishop on a6, driving his rook to e1, doesn't really achieve anything. I mean, it makes him put his rook on a decent square. I don't know. This is more questions than answers about this. Okay, next game, Valido's a subscriber. We're going to play that. I don't know why Lochik has challenged me to King of the Hill. All right, Valido. I think I've got my lag back. Well, I wouldn't call you owned by tactic. You overlooked one tactic with bishop takes c3, but, you know, this is kind of an outside-the-box move you're not normally looking for. Like black giving up his dragon bishop. It's forgivable. But you should see it, of course. I really, you know, you should just take on f6, man. I mean, you're just better in that ending. I'm just trying to bail out, you know. My position is inferior. You have a better endgame. Bishop takes f6, e takes f6. My pawns are broken. Valido has played well in a few games. Relatively new subscriber here. Guys, tomorrow night I'm going to host just a casual Blitz tournament, 5+2, 7 p.m. CET on or Central European Summertime here on lichess and Twitch. If you want to join, just for fun tomorrow night. Too Sharp, what's up? The Blumenfeld Gambit, I did a video series recently for this site called the Chess World on the Blumenfeld Gambit. This is an opening I think is good because white doesn't normally know the lines that well. Experienced players know what they're doing, but they're few and far between. Well, Valido seems to know the variation. He's 1921 correspondence, 1700 rapid, 1500 blitz. It's a lot of different ratings. He also knows this. Into the main line. Chess World Blumenfeld. I don't get any unfortunately I got paid a flat amount for doing that video. I don't make any money on people subscribing, so it doesn't matter to me if you guys buy it or not. It just generates a little more publicity. Wow, Valido subtly knows the main line here. That's not that common. And people know this variation. Happy to squeeze a draw there. Oh, your game, Tushar? Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call it squeezing a draw, man. The word is swindle. And let's see. So knight takes d5. Bishop takes e7. Queen takes e7. A takes b. This isn't like a blunder. It's like an actual variation. Well, he knows this. There's some games. Volokitin and Gaia Megami played with black. This looks like a good line for black. Just castles or yeah, I think castles is fine. I'm trying to remember who Gaia played against. There was another good player who played black here too. Nisapianu. It was Nisapianu had a game against a strong player in this type of line. Nisapianu may have gone knight f4. I'm not sure that white went bishop c4 though. Not sure about that move. Okay, we'll try knight f4. Gaia has a game where he put his knight on b4, which is also a very good square. Maybe more stable. Valido seems extremely strong for his rating. He has... What does he have? 2 draws so far. I guess I should take here at some point. Comes the ambulance. So now knight d7 I can't play. I'm just dropping a pawn. I have to do this. Perfect play by white. And he's an expert on the Blumenfeld or what, man? Wow. To play all this just without even knowing it. Most masters don't even know this line in Valido. That's impressive. Knight e5 here. Maybe I've got to watch my d6 pawn. I was thinking knight c6. Then I'll have to play like rook d8, I suppose. Yeah, the ambulance is coming. Knight c6, knight c4, rook d8. Then like queen a4. I have to be careful I'm not worse here. He's played literally perfect so far. Well, I can't go to d4. I mean, maybe, maybe knight d4 as a pawn sack. He's just ignoring my knight on f4. Looks like white has played literally, probably a variation I analyzed in the videos. Bishop f1 now suddenly. Slightly passive but solid move. A lot of these games end up in draws. It's kind of a Chinese, or what do you call it? Chinese. Mexican standoff. Chinese, Mexican. Random countries. Kind of hard to say what to do now. Maybe knight b4 or something. We can try to just play actively. That seems kind of weird. This is very similar to the Nisapianu game. Except Nisapianu landed a tactic on his opponent and something like knight h3 check in one moment. I don't remember who it was against. It was a pretty strong player. This was like a 10-year-old game. This variation started to be popular like 10 years ago. Then it kind of disappeared for a while. And then it's still around. I find that most people just don't even allow the Blumenfeld. That's the biggest problem with playing the Blumenfeld, that you never actually get a Blumenfeld. People either play some form of the English opening, or they just avoid it by playing e3. There are sort of anti-Blumenfeld lines too that are pretty good for white. So you rarely actually get a game in the main lines, even if you study it a lot. Always play bishop f1. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's very solid. We got our knights on these vulture-like positions here. But these are the players that I know that play the Blumenfeld well. Volakitin, I just saw him yesterday. He was here. The last time I saw him, he was like kicking my feet under the table in a tournament. He's grown like half an inch since then, 15 years ago. I was like, wait, he looks familiar. Let's see. Gaya Megami, the Iranian Grandmaster, is one of my favorite players who plays this opening with black, and also Nisipianu. But Nisipianu changes up his openings fairly often. Knight c4, why not? Well, okay, knight c4, I could maybe take the pawn on e4, but I'm going to play rook d8. But I agree, knight c4 is a natural move. There it is. Alright. Now I'm threatening to play bishop takes e4. He can play queen d2. It's equal. This is just an equal position. The game that Nisipianu won, it was just some kind of walking into like knight h3 check in this type of position. Maybe the queen was on. Somehow the queen wasn't protecting f3, and black had like tactic with knight h3 check, and white had to like allow his kingside to be destroyed. Yeah, you're getting quite good at bullet chess, Tushar. Your speed of play is amazing there. In a bad position, like it's usually harder to play moves quickly in a bad position than it is in a good position. You're actually playing faster than me in a bad position. He's calculating e5. Okay, I don't know what's up with queen b1. He's just defending his pawn. It's passive. Now I ought to make sure I don't get back rank mated at some point. I mean, his bishop is basically pawn-like, somewhat pawn-like on f1. My bishop's very active on a8. So I can never really be worse here. Even though I have a backward pawn, technically, he's so tied down to e4. Yeah, he's calculating e5. Maybe he will play e5, but I have bishop takes f3. That would be really bad for white, probably. I mean, I'm sure that a computer would never lose here with white. You think it's bad now? Now g3. Okay, this is natural. I don't really know where to go. He's weakening his kingside slightly. Certainly not an earth-shaking problem. But the long diagonal looks like a happy... It looks like a happy development for me. We can knock out his defender of the king side on f3 and just be better. But as I said earlier, the problem with the Blumenfeld, I think, is all the sidelines and just avoidance of the opening. The main line is okay, but you have to play this line I'm playing here with d6. The traditional Blumenfeld is actually other lines with, I mean, what I'm playing with e takes d5, this is not considered to be the main line. I mean, for years and years, I guess like queen a5 check was considered to be the main line, but it's not that good for black. Knight e6, well, white's just going to lose on time. Guys, I have time for 2 more games. We've got no more subscribers left, so it's just going to be the next 2 guys up, unless the games are really short. Yeah, I mean, e5 looks looks really bad. You can't just drop a piece. Maybe he's disconnected or something. Oh, there's a move. That's a strong idea. I'm not going to argue with that. We got knight d4 though. It's just really wickedly strong. This one though is starting to wonder what that's doing out there on b4. He's like overqualified. No one wants to hire him. Yeah, this loses. Because the long diagonal is too strong. But as I said, I mean, it seemed like the opening white handled like he really knew it, like a master. But you got to play. Gotta play accurately. I don't know. Let's see where we left theory here before we start the next game. It all seems to be normal to me. I'm not. It's not my favorite line what he played here, but it's a line nevertheless. Bishop c4. I'm not sure about. Yeah, that seems to be the main move. So here's the games I was talking about: Wang Yu versus Guy Magami, Sargsyan. It was Sargsyan against Nispianu. So bishop c4 is main line. All right. Then there's a choice. Knight b4 was played by Gaiam, and Nispianu played knight f4. So we're following this piano game. I remember that correctly. And then castles, bishop b7, rook e1. This is exactly Sargsyan against Nispianu. A takes b5, rook takes a8. Wow. I'm right. I mean, this dude knows a lot of theory. Knight c6. And then bishop f1. He's actually literally following the Sargsyan game. And this piano here played queen f6. So Stockfish likes rook d8. And I played knight b4. Knight b4, it gets a little bit out of the center, you know. I'm not sure I like that. Theory can't help you now. Well, so it's move 17. We're still in this game. Sargsyan versus Nispianu. That's pretty impressive. Now Stockfish is liking my move best. Wow. Then he plays the best move. And then rook d8 is forced. Queen b1 is very awkward for white. That looks like a clear mistake. Going here. He should have played like queen d2. Alright guys, let's play 2 more games. SXPG. So, Blitz tournament tomorrow night, 7 p.m. here, European time. If you guys want to just hang out, play some Blitz games informally. 2-hour arena tournament. So Vlita played 17 moves of theory, like Sargsyan, and then he varied with queen b1. But I think the position's already not my favorite for white. Black's at least equal after that part, you know, after that stage. Dude, I guess your computer is a little faster than mine. Dude, my computer is like, it's just struggling. I've got, my lag is alright today though. 45 ping. Stockfish likes played moves better after what? It sees them. Yeah, I noticed that too. This is like a mainline symmetrical English. You have a game that follows 12 moves a book. Well, I mean, this is a question. I don't really consider it book because like one game exists between Sargsyan and Nispianu. You know, book I kind of qualify as positions that have been established and played in many games, you know. Just because one game, I wouldn't call it, people do that, but I wouldn't call it book. It's just a game. Often 2700s make a lot of mistakes too. So, but there's limited experience. That's why I like that variation. You know, there just isn't that much theory in this line. And so, all right, SXPG here. There are two primary moves for black in this position. You can also sack a pawn with d6. This is the Alejandro Rios variation, where I lost a game against this guy from Colombia back in 1991. I wanted to cry after the game. He was like worse the entire game. I played like perfectly. I had like plus 2.5 and then like lost. It was an international and I was doing really well in my first couple games. And then this game I was like, it was a really long game too. It was like 5 hours long, 6 hours, and I was better the whole way and then lost. This exact position. Surprisingly, a6 is a mistake. It seems like a fairly natural move. But there have been quite a few games since my game in 1991 to support the theory that a6 is not really good for black. It looks like a Sicilian, you know, and it looks like a normal move, but you need to play a different move here first. Either knight takes knight, or knight g4, or the pawn sacrifice with d6. And there's other moves too. I guess, you know, queen a5. Queen a5 is probably being played at the moment too. Kind of a newer idea. Now, I don't remember if Rios played bishop rook b8 here. There's bishop f4, e5, knight takes c6, b takes c6, bishop takes e5. Bishop f4, e5, knight takes c6, b takes c6, bishop takes e5. I said that already. And then there's like rook takes b2. Have I already played this before? It looks strangely familiar. There's also knight a4, which could even be the game I played. Bishop f4, e5, knight takes c6, b takes c6, bishop takes e5, and then rook takes b2. Why don't I remember this? Don't remember this rook being on b2 in this line. I mean, that looks like a good position for white. Knight a4. If knight a4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4. I mean, this also seems good for white. Yeah, let's try that. I mean, something new. I think I might have played the other variation before, but this is worth a try. Try to clamp down on b6. Might be my actual game with Alejandro Rios. I don't remember. No one else had played knight a4. I'm thinking like knight b3 looks natural, but then black can break out with like b5 and then I have nothing. So that doesn't really make sense. My fear is that bishop f4 was indeed the best move. I can't remember that line though. Mr. Killy, that's what I did. Alright. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about, tomato juice. How about bishop f4 there? I couldn't remember the complications after that. Bishop f4, e5, takes on c6, takes, bishop takes e5, rook takes b2. And then, like, there are discoveries on his rook on b2. It's very possible I played this already. Maybe knight d5. That's a weird line. Rook takes b2, knight d5. Knight takes d5. Bishop takes g7. It doesn't work because he has king takes g7, queen d4 check, queen f6. Okay, this I don't believe it. All right, whoa. Wow. He just went berserk. I have bishop f4 now. e5. Queen takes e5. Can I do this? Or is bishop f4 just bad? Bishop f4, he has knight h5. I'm going to end up like losing a piece or some stupid thing. Gotta be kidding me. Alright, I don't know. I'm just going to try to just not lose on time. I'm too confused. You lost me after b takes c6. Yeah, but Soltigo, I think we've had that position before on the stream. Okay, black has sacrificed the pawn for the center here. It makes kind of sense. Makes kind of sense. Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just making it up. Basically lost my advantage. Black is a genius. It's pretty deep pawn sacrifice to play in Blitz. It's just a bad line, c5, but I did something wrong, I think. He has bishop d7 here. It's going to be hard for me to keep the extra pawn. See, he found it. Surprise, surprise. We're all in a state of shock over him finding this move. I guess I had to play b7. Alright. We'll do anything we can to save that pawn. That's all I have to show for the fact that I don't have a center. Black's basically fine developmentally. To move the king side with a queen side passed pawn. To move to the king side with a queen side passed pawn. Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really find a good square for my queen, you know. I just didn't see a good square. I guess I should go like here. Maybe the turkey farm is right, you know, like queen d3. The problem with queen d3 is the old knight d7, knight e5, maybe something like that. But turkey farm may have a point. You know, it is kind of weird to move the king side, but it's safe. It's a safe square. It's free from attack. It's very mobile here. Queen b4. Yeah. Maybe it is a good move. Not too many choices here. Yeah, I agree with you fundamentally, though. It is kind of spreading myself to the two sides of the board where it's not clear where I'm really working. Am I playing on the queen side? Can't believe tomorrow's Tuesday already. Okay, knight c3, guys. I've got to go in like 20 minutes. So this game and then one more after this, unless one of them is really short. We're going to cut it at 12:30. Blitz tournament tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Gladys Troll. Where's the saddest troll? Where's your alter ego? He's dead. Well, we rather have the sad one dead than the glad one, I guess. It all sounds like Dr. Seuss to me. Well, I mean, maybe he'll sack the exchange here. I wouldn't mind winning an exchange, to be perfectly honest. He might have a little bit of compensation, but that's life. Problem with this pawn here. Yeah, man. Man, oh man. What a dynamic player. He's sacking the exchange on me. Alright. Well, now you have to play b3. It's the only move. I've got to be careful. My white squares or my king are a little bit weak. I mean, obviously I could play f3 in the right moment. Yeah, the people who don't know en passant, they're like 1900, 2000 or something. That's kind of funny. Which rook should I move? Okay, I'm getting kind of scared here, to be honest with you. Man, SXPG. I have to defend this. He's 1400 in bullet, right? That's logical. It's like Dr. Dynamic. H6 is strong? Well, I mean, it's not like earth-shaking. I was more concerned about a different move here. I'm coming back to... actually, H6 may be strong. I mean, if H6, I guess I play F3, right? Does he have a strong... Does he have a strong answer for that? Well, where's my queen going? It's going to F4. Oh my god. He checks that my queen is trapped, or what? Queen is trapped in mid-board? What? My queen is trapped in mid-board in that line. So I have to play rook E1 or rook D1. Wow. Man, oh man. We want emotes. After the stream, go to dashboard settings, emoticon, upload emotes to the appropriate sizes, submit. Is that a message for me? Wait a minute. I'm just trying to hang on for the love of God here. Like, did I had another move instead of F3? Bishop D2 to Bishop A5, that's pretty awkward. Okay, what's going on here? I mean, there's 94. What does 94 even do? Oh, I have a cute move there. I was thinking knight F2 here. But I mean, what am I going to do with that? Just like lose a pawn or something? Knight takes F6. Probably ought to take this at some point. Well, I'm probably winning here. Man, but he gave me a scare. I want to see, just before we start the last game, where the best place to put my queen was and what the correct move was in the opening. Oh my god. Let me go back. Okay, how is there no games here? I mean, it's conceivable. It's very likely my game isn't in the lichess Opening Explorer, but it's definitely in ChessBase. I thought my opponent also played Rook B8 here. It's a very, very rare move. Ribley lost to Lebojevic. Oh my god. What? Ribley Lebojevic 2017? Lebojevic still has a 2571 rating? What are you talking about? Seriously? We had this discussion about Lebojevic the other day, but he's protected his rating pretty well there. So I am supposed to play Bishop F4. I wasn't sure what was up with this. I think we had this before. I literally was going to play this line. But I'm not up any material. It's just like a positional advantage. Whoa, I was losing in one move. Later on, I'm losing in one move here. What happened? Bishop G4 traps my queen. Okay, that's the point. Oh my god. I didn't see it at all. That's definitely further evidence that Queen H4 is not the right idea. Man. Wow. We both missed it completely. Ouch. Okay, so instead of Queen H4, someone suggested Bishop D2, Bishop A5, Saltigo. Well, I just don't know if I can leave my queen on D4 indefinitely here. And Bishop A5 isn't very, I mean, it's not very attractive as far as mobility goes. You like obscure aesthetic moves, Saltigo, but I don't know if I like it. Queen B4 does look kind of a usual dragon idea. Queen B4. Yeah, this is better than my move to play Queen H4. Your move is the second best move, Saltigo, and this is apparently the best. Queen, Bishop G5, I don't really get it, but Queen B4 might be logical. Okay, guys, last game for today. Wow, my queen was just trapped. I didn't see it. He didn't see it. I don't know if the viewers saw it. Ooh, are there drop frames? I may have lag. We've got 66 viewers now. No drop frames. We may have just general lag though. Yeah, my lag just went up to 300. I don't know. It's been kind of dodgy lately. My internet connection. Seemingly quite dodgy. Alright guys, last game for today. I'm going to play the villain. The S villain. I know that's not what it says, but the Serbian S villain. Not well played. I mean, we should have seen Bishop G4. Oh my god. Wow. That's terrible. Losing immediately. There is a Fedoseev or somebody playing Queen E3 type of lines. But not directly in this position. In the Moscow variation, this is what my math teacher used to do. He would play Queen takes D4. My high school math teacher. He was like the chess club coach. Well, not a coach. We didn't have a formal chess team, just a club. Okay, knight C3. The queen on E3 is probably better. Actually, Esfil and Catronius played this at the Spring Festival. Not this exact thing again, but something like this. What is this? But Catronius was copying someone else. This is some idea that some top player played recently. G6, B3, Bishop G7. It's a little slow. Catronius there with the trend immediately. Trend, friend of trend. But something seems wrong here. Like, you can't just do this. D5? Or can you? Who was this? Do you guys know? Okay, Carlson. Then Magnus did it. So Catronius immediately jumping on the bandwagon. It feels like it should be good for black somehow. But I guess there's just no way to refute it. But black does need to do something. I think black does need to do something relatively fast. Maybe we'll try to play D5. It's logical. Right, it's a different position. But it's still interesting for white. After bishop e2, let's say bishop e2 castles. Then he castles, then I take on e4. Okay. Bishop e2, I castle, white castles, then we take on e4. And it should be, that should be good for us structurally. Bishop e2 castles, knight takes d5. No wait, that's a problem. Bishop e2 castles, knight takes d5, knight takes e4 is a cute move. So he can't do everything at once. It's similar to the Carlson idea. It almost works. But this should just like... Wow, that looks like it should almost lose for white. Apparently, there's nothing I can do, though. Knight takes d5. What do I do? Well, we could just put his king on c3 or something. That doesn't seem that convincing. Okay, the only move now, bishop e2, or knight e2. The only move, one of those two is the only one. You could play knight e2, I guess. Anyway, guys, if you want to come by tomorrow night in the evening, 7 p.m. we're going to have a viewer blitz tournament just for fun. Casual 5+2 here. I'll host the tournament. Then stream as usual this week. I'm back to streaming like 6 days a week. Okay, I don't know, man. He's going to do something crazy here. Sacrifice his rook on a1. Now, what's the idea? I mean, to trap my bishop on a1? Developing a piece. I guess white plays... Well, that's the question. Does he have bishop c4 here, or can I play b5? Can I actually win a piece like that? Somehow I doubt it. I just have a funny feeling that that's not going to work out for me with my king on e8. This looks awfully speculative for white, though. He's too far behind in material and development to justify this. Still Monday here for 20 hours. That's in the US. Well, in about a month and a half, Soltiga, I'll be going to the US. So we'll be in the same time zone. Looks like about 45 days from now. Still have to buy my tickets. For those of you who don't know that I'm American, but I live in Hungary for most of the year. So I'm streaming from Budapest. But in the summer, I might spend a couple months in the USA. So I'll be switching the time in July and August. Alright, bishop c4 now. What do we do? I don't know. He's ready to get developed. We should just consolidate our exchange up, I guess. Castle. Just castle. What else to do? I guess I could play knight e5, but I'm a little bit concerned about my bishop on a1. It needs to get out. I can't play knight e5. There's a check on e7. Never mind. So let's try not to lose on time. Maybe even bishop f6. No, that doesn't work. Don't I have b5 now for reals? If knight f4, I'll just trade pieces. Can you guys read me? We read you loud and clear. Please practice with me. Am I moving permanently? No. Every year I just go home to visit. I'll be back in Hungary in September. Looks like I'm going to have to chop this knight off with the bad bishop. White's king is still in the center. He's down the exchange. Hard to believe that's enough. No, I'm never going to escape from Hungary. My friends always laugh when I say that. Alright, rook e8 is next. And we're going to try to escape from this pressure, at least. I saw it. What happened? Nobody saw that? What did I see? Queen f4. What about b5 now? Finally it works. It just like wins a piece. Wins 2 pieces for a rock. Oh no. But he's got this sneaky stuff here. What's that do? Yeah, but he has no way to exploit that. No, I guess b5 is actually good. Knight takes e7. That's not going to work. I'm about to lose on time. Oh, there was queen a5 check, winning a piece straight up. Yeah, that would be good too. Is that like what I didn't see? How long has that been there? Just since the last move. He has some ghost threats against f7 that probably don't work though. I mean, I could just play queen a5 check. Can you say something about our game in a few words? It felt like you were making up the theory. Ooh, how many things can I win now? His knight's almost trapped, so he's just down a clear piece. Stay central. Make Hungary great again. They could get like a discount on hats or something if they work together. Alright, King e2, Bishop e5. Winning a piece. Anyway, this was weird. Is this an actual variation, guys? This isn't real, is it? I mean, it's similar to what Carlsen did. This is the Harderson variation. Queen e3. Yeah, this is weird. This is not what Magnus did. Let's see, knight f6. Knight c3, g6. The computer doesn't like my move g6. The engine is like, no g6. I'm supposed to play e5, apparently. Yeah, Too Shark, I don't know. I mean, I thought you should have taken with the pawn on f6. But the way you ended up playing it wasn't too bad. I'm not a big expert, don't forget, though. Yeah, I just did. I gotta go, man. It's 5 minutes over time, so... So this, I guess, is just like trying to imitate the Carlsen idea. Even d5 probably isn't even the best. Now it's... Yeah, what else am I gonna do? You should play bishop b2, though. I mean, maybe this isn't so bad for white castles. Tushar, I don't know. I'll see you guys later. I had the feeling that both of us don't know the theory too well there, Tushar. But it seemed kind of weird. I thought you should have taken back with the pawn on f6. Alright guys, time to go. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the new subscriptions. I'll be back tomorrow with a viewer tournament. Weird Wednesday morning. Unusual openings Blitz. Thursday, subscriber stream, and Friday, more Blitz. Sunday, long simul this week. It'll be a long simul. Yeah, no, I know the Carlsen game was the checkover variation. Yeah, there's some new ideas there. Fedoseev does weird stuff too, with like Queen e3. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have fun, have a great day, and bye-bye. Thanks, Soltigo. Thanks everyone for watching and subscribing. Laters. Bye.